There we go.
Hello.
Whoa.
Uh, it has been a very rough past couple of days for both of us. Oh my god, and this is not going to be a short episode, Danny.
Oh, it is. Because I just looked at the actual, TWAB, and there's not a whole lot.
I know, but I have a feeling that we should actually go over the state of the game. The
I
state
looked
of the
over
game
it. There's some
article.
good stuff. I actually have a very hot take about a lot of things I've been seeing.
I know, it's let me swap screens here. So, today's episode, I think, should be a little bit different. I think that we should go over the state of the game, the Bungie state of the game article, simply because this article is actually super important for what's coming up the next year, basically. And there's a lot of shit that's to pay attention to, both from an elitist standpoint and from a casual standpoint. Um, and if I'm gonna be real here, Danny, I think we should actually go over the state of the game first, since they made the TWAB shorter to compensate for how fucking massive the state of the game is. So if we can knock that out first, then we just go into
Yeah.
the TWAB and we just bang it out afterwards.
Could
Okay.
actually, sub the TWAB up in, two things.
All
There's
right.
only two things in it, basically.
All right.
Solstice is winding up, and Anomaly is the Trials map. That's it.
Wait, that's for the TWAB.
That's basically all that's in here.
Alright, mid-year state of the game, we'll get to that soon. Solstice is glowing, okay. Community trials map is anomaly. I mean, it's not a bad map.
Yeah,
How the
it's a good map. Yeah, that's literally it.
how the fuck did Vostok only lose? How did Vostok only lose by 1% to Cathedral of Dusk? What the fuck is? Who the fuck is the quarter of the player base voting for fucking Vostok in trials? That's fucking cringe. Who the fuck are you?
It's so funny seeing that.
Bro, they barely lost to Cathedral of Dusk. What the fuck? I'm just glad to know that the majority of the players actually picked the good map out of here. So, oh wow,
Oh, yeah.
it was literally just those two things. Holy shit, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, no. There's
So
literally nothing in the TWAB.
all right, we'll just try to. All right, then you know what? We'll do this, and then we'll go over state of the game. So, Solstice Armor transmog, you can transmog your shit. Vendor engrams, they'll disappear at the end of the season. Make sure to fucking use them. Event card reminders, finish them up by August 8th. Known issues, there's only two, which is interesting. The Compass Rose is not visible in collections, and Lord of Wolves is missing its hipfire reticle. That's actually kind of bad. That's actually super bad.
That one's pretty bad.
Yeah, since so many people fucking hipfire with it, because it's fucking gross. We will do the justice for movie of the week, and did we really, Candy Cane? Did you really just rickroll us?
Yep.
For those of you watching the video, I'm sorry. And then there's Destiny 2 Golden, and this is by Yield Apple. So that's a pretty banging thumbnail, actually.
That's a lot of editing went into that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good thumbnail. That's a great thumbnail. Holy shit, that's well done. Per Audacia and Astra, rest in peace, Commander, via Reddit. Aw, and fucking to Lance Reddick. God damn. With the little Destiny one underneath, with the Traveler. Along with that, oh, hold on. This was, okay, so this is just part of Reddit, okay. And then this is the Eights of Spades Redux. I'm going to assume that it's Irresolute who did this, since they've got the tag in the bottom. I'm going to assume
I think so.
Irresolute. But that's amazing watercolor. That is an amazing watercolor piece.
Very well done.
All right, well, that's TWAB. All right, moving on to state of the game.
That
Woo!
literally was the entirety of the TWAB. That was it. There was nothing in it, which makes sense because
this is a chunkster. God,
Joe gave us a lot.
So, all right. So Danny, if I'm gonna be honest, I've had a very long day. I'm gonna let you kind of. I'm gonna just name the section, and if you wouldn't mind, just kind of TLDRing it, because I have not had a chance to read this yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot in this that you can basically just kind of skim through.
We could skip this first part here, right?
Because it's just Joe talking about like the how things went from last year's showcase to right before this year's, and the stuff that they're working on.
All right. So addressing feedback, talking about items that have been going over, and they're going to be working on them slowly but surely. And while we've covered some issues recently, including the roadmap for improvements in general stability, it's time for a detailed check-in on our progress in several areas of the game. Okay, ritual updates. Danny, take it away, please.
Okay, they listened to a lot of feedback. They're going to make ritual engrams drop consistently for doing ritual activities. So, like for instance, doing salvages, you would get the Season of the Deep engrams, basically almost guaranteed for doing it. Which good change, nice. They're going to work on doing that for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit, I believe, as well.
Yep.
To increase the drop rates of those, and also making the weapons they add for those specific activities focusable from day one of the seasons, which is pretty nice.
Oh, so you can actually craft it. That's super dope.
You can actually pick that as your engram rewards from those vendors.
Wait, hold on. Does that mean that we can craft an igneous hammer?
Sadly, they are not craftable, but they are focusable drops.
Damn, no, to be fair, if we had got crafting igneous hammers, oh my god, that would absolutely ruin Trials.
Oh yeah, no, it would.
Especially with all the buffs it's got. I do want to point out the new ritual vendor weapons that they're going to be bringing in for Season 22, which is going to include the Unending Tempest Stasis Submachine Gun for Crucible, the Luna Regolith 3 Solar Sniper Rifle and Strikes, the Kwa Zafon 5 Void Machine Gun and Gambit. I may actually have to play Gambit this go-around, because I am an LMG kind of guy. The Cataphract GL3 Strand Grenade Launcher and Trials of Cyrus and more. They're also bringing back fan favorites in the ritual playlists. Pardon me. Including Igneous Hammer Solar Hand Cannon for Trials and revamping good old D1's Warden's Law into a brand new archetype as a Nightfall reward.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Now they're going to be going over PvP. Guardian v Guardian. Danny, take it away.
So, basically, what they said here is the most frequent feedback that they saw was there's not enough new PvP content, and they went in depth to say basically the teams that they have working on the different aspects of the game, in order to make new stuff for PvP, would take them away from doing story content and exotic mission content. So it's like, it's a pick your poison. Do you want more exotic missions? Do you want more story stuff? Or do you want PvP stuff? They swap teams around a lot to work on different things, specifically like maps, which I know take a lot of eyes to get right, and even then still miss some gaps here and there, which they've shown and had people show them a lot of the out-of-bounds stuff people do in some new Crucible maps when they get added.
Yeah, they're pretty egregious.
So, basically, they're like, we know we haven't been adding a whole lot of stuff to Crucible, but it's like, with the model we have currently, it's not super feasible, which I know a lot of people are very upset about, but then again, it's PvP.
Yeah.
It could be better, but
they play PvP, therefore I do not care.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not super fussed about it.
Yeah. Now
it makes sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of shitty, despite the fact of how large Bungie is, that they just can't have dedicated teams for it. And in all honesty, in my opinion, I think that they should actually, and this may be a very hot take, Danny, I think that a whole expansion should be... So, a whole expansion normally is a full year, roughly, give or take.
Yep.
Hot take here. I think that they should expand and add a fifth season into an expansion. And that fifth season just kind of acts. It could honestly act in a way. You could have it as the third season in an expansion, and it's a gap expansion. Basically, what it does, it'll act like season 22, where you don't gain power level, but there's still new content. So, and you can work on it far in advance to kind of get it prepped because there's not too much that you have to worry about. So you don't have to worry about, new guns, all that kinds of crazy shit. You could honestly just reprise old shit and just make it better. Since obviously everything got vaulted, so there's plenty of fucking content to choose from.
Yep.
I think that they should extend it to 5 seasons, so that way it gives them more time because obviously they work on seasons and expansions way before we even think about it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like obviously when Witch Queen dropped, right? They were already working on Lightfall. They were They had been working on Lightfall for half a year, maybe longer than that, right? And it's the same with Lightfall, right? Or same with Lightfall into Final Shape. Is when Lightfall dropped, they've been working on Final Shape before Lightfall's drop.
Yep.
So I think that if you extend the year and actually give the teams more time to polish shit out, it will also give each individual team more time to make content for the whole of Destiny. And we'll get into why I'm going to rinse the fuck out of Gambit later. But we are still getting some new stuff for PvP. It's just not a lot. So PvP guys, I apologize. You're not going to be eating great, though to be fair, you really haven't been eating good for the past couple years. And I'm going to be honest, this may be a hot take, Danny. I think that we should actually have a PvP season. Like a couple PvP seasons, because PvP is getting shafted right now.
This is kind of one of the thoughts that I had, since we have 4 seasons a year, basically. Why not have 2 focused on the main core of the game, which is the story PvE stuff, and then 1 Crucible, 1 Gambit.
And then obviously all the seasonal stuff, and there can still be some like story missions, but just they don't need to be like super intensive.
Yeah.
Like you can just do them casually, don't have to worry about it too much, nothing crazy.
Just have those seasons be more focused on adding stuff and or working on the general health of those modes.
Yeah. Now, PvP guys, you will still be getting content for Season 22. There's a couple of things. First and foremost, they're going to be previewing upcoming Sandbox Shakeups, which is pretty dope. General PvP Sandbox, gear and ability balance is how it's going to change. Along with that, y'all are getting some new shit. Y'all are getting a new Vex Network themed map, which I really hope it looks like the map from Season of the Splicer, because that seasonal activity was super fucking dope to look at.
It's a fun-looking map so far.
Yeah, it looks dope. We'll take a look at the picture in a moment. Along with that, you're gonna get not 1, but 2 game modes. You're getting new Relic 6v6 mode and a gunplay-focused Checkmate modifier with multiple modes, plus a new competitive Ascendant Division emblem and more. Along with that, this is what the PvP map will look like, and that's fucking dope. That looks sick as fuck. I imagine so many people just initially just falling to their deaths, though.
Oh, they will. Absolutely.
I'm just gonna wait to just see a fucking Titan Thunder crash across the entire fucking map. I'm gonna wait.
It'll happen.
It's gonna happen, whether I like it or not. And I'm gonna be the target, because I always am. But that's a super dope map, so it's not great, but it's still content. And I know the PvP fucking community has been up in arms nonstop. Though, in Bungie's defense, the PvP community is fucking toxic. Especially to developers.
Yeah.
Like, out of everybody who has ever shit on a Bungie developer, PvP content creators are by far probably the worst. Or just PvP players in general. Just Miserable.
They get a little too into it and don't know how to communicate it without sounding attacking.
Yeah, maybe if they just touched grass, they'd be fine. But
It's like if you could word the complaints like a little bit better, they'd probably listen a little bit more. It's usually where things go wrong.
Yeah, and then every time a Bungie dev tries to say something, they just all immediately attack him. And it's like, well, we asked for transparency. You didn't let them be transparent without fucking blowing their shit up. Fuck
Yep.
off. That's what you get. That's what you deserve. So, along with that, the map is called Multiplex. It is a vexed environment. It is based off of the Season of the Splicer seasonal activity, which is the first time we ever saw this style of art.
Good Vex network.
Yeah, the Vex network. So, super dope. I think it's super cool. And then we're going to go into what Checkmate and Relic and how they're going to be changing. So, Checkmate primarily it is going to be mostly a gunplay style activity. Along with that, they've changed a couple things. Special ammunition is going to be it's got to be earned, and it's not going to be dropped on deaths. There's going to be much faster TTKs. Along with that, Checkmate will be available from week 5 to week 10 in the Crucible Labs, and they'll start off the first 2 weeks with Checkmate Control, and then see how Checkmate Survival will do, and then they will move on to Checkmate Rumble.
I am very interested in this mode because they made a point to say it's a primary weapon rich environment.
Along with that, they said, and gun skill can be augmented by communication and strong positioning. So I have a feeling it's going to be going very much back to like a Call of Duty style, like old school Call of Duty style gunplay, which I'm kind of a fan of, because I'm kind of sick and tired of getting fucking thunder crashed and hunted down by fucking hunters nonstop in PvP.
Yeah, I'm very interested in a gunplay oriented game mode.
Yeah, I just want to see how much people rely, and especially how much people crutch on certain guns.
And it's going to be even better because this game mode will come out when they redo the sandbox and introduce the range and damage fall off split.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. Along with that, Relic is the other game mode that we're going to be getting back, or the new game mode that we're going to be getting. And Relic is a 6v6, and I love how they put this, party mode, where players wreak havoc and destruction on their foes with relic weapons. Relics include the Aegis from Vault of Glass, the Synoptic Spear from Season of the Risen, and the Scythe from Season of the Haunted. Each player charges their personal relic energy by defeating opponents with their normal loadout. Upon reaching full charge, players can acquire a relic from a relic depot. Defeating relic holders and using the relics to defeat opponents earns points for the team. Whereas Checkmate is heavily focused on gunfights, Relic is intended to provide light-hearted gameplay that can be enjoyed by anyone, similar to Mayhem and Team Scorched. Relic will be available in the Crucible Labs from week 1 to week 4, and again in week 11 until the close of the season. We will look forward to hearing your feedback on both Checkmate and Relic when they roll out next season. That seems like so much fucking fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm gonna be honest though, I feel like the Spear's probably gonna be the more busted one out of the three, because as far as I remember, it's the only one. No, actually, no. The Scythe has an unlimited range.
The Scythe has a projectile.
The Scythe has a projectile, and it has an unlimited range. Because, fun fact, the Scythe, the Scythe ranged attack doesn't have fall off. The Synoptic Spear does.
The only thing that I'm wondering is if the Aegis will let you block incoming damage, like it does in VoG.
I'm wondering that will probably be the case, but they're gonna have to be very careful, because if they make it unlimited, that's just gonna be impossible to deal with.
Oh no, it's got a cooldown. It uses it uses energy, kind of like melee energy.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
However, your teammates can shoot through it if they're using primary ammo weapons.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Wait, why only primary ammo weapons?
Because projectile weapons will hit the inside of the shield and not go through.
That's interesting. Huh.
I know because I've watched people try to shoot rockets or xenophage through it, and it just gets caught on the barrier.
Yes. Gotta love that, right?
Yep.
Along with that, there's going to be matchmaking improvements. They're modifying the loose skill based matchmaking settings for Control and Iron Banner, and they're hoping that it's going to kind of close the gap between upper and lower ends of the skill spectrum, and especially for those playing in low population regions or times. Along with that, they're going to be adding a loose fire team matchmaking to the Crucible Rotator, including Crucible Labs, which is very important to ensure players are being evenly matched against similar fire team sizes without the need for a freelance node. Additionally, they'll be tackling an issue with lobby balancing that can misallocate players over certain skill levels. All great things.
Yep.
Like, I don't see a single L in that entire statement about the improvements. Like, that's solid.
Something that was asked for.
Yep. Now, Season 23, for shit that's going to be coming up. Danny, if you would not mind going over this real quick.
They're planning on delivering a new Iron Banner mode for Season 23, along with a new Hake Aggressive Frame Strand Pulse Rifle as the newest competitive division weapon reward. However, next season, they're going to reuse the Mercurial Overreach Adaptive Frame Sniper since it was bugged for the first part of the season, which I'm happy with, because I only got one of them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were trying to grind for that thing. The other thing that's really interesting is that they're focusing on making a map reprisal of Citadel from 2018 and putting it in for Season 23. They have saying, we all have fond memories of dominating Control with our fire teams on this one and can't wait to see what you do with the latest arsenal out there in the Dreaming City. Personally,
I miss that map.
I find the Dreaming City maps to be super fun to kind of play around. Both in back when we had Gambit Prime on a Dreaming City map, or Dreaming City-esque. And then, obviously, I feel like if it wasn't for the strikes being so fucking ass, Dreaming City would be a great zone. But the strikes are fucking miserable. They're all garbage. Thank God for the raid. So it'll be nice to have another, again, like I said, it's good to have another PvP map. So we are guaranteed a new PvP map never before seen for Season 22. And then you guys will be getting a new PvP map in Season 23. Well, not new, but a reprisal that you have not seen
honestly,
in 5 years.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah. So, there you go. Now, Vanguard. Vanguard's going to be a little bit different. Danny, if you would not mind, taking it away, please.
They're adding medals. So, easier scores. That's primarily what it is. Aside from they are doing some tuning to add more battlegrounds to the Vanguard and Nightfall playlists.
No.
That's about it, actually.
The battlegrounds.
The TLDR of it.
The battlegrounds suck. Please stop. Stop.
Get some medals to increase your score faster, and look out for more battlegrounds being in Grandmaster Nightfalls.
I am excited about the medals because that means
bumping up the difficulty a little bit of.
I'm actually really excited. I'm excited for the medals because it means that you might actually be able to do hero and actually get the 100,000 score that you need.
Something that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Kind of interesting to see, but I think it'll be fun. I don't like the fact that they're making Nightfalls more annoying than they already were. They're already a giant pain in the dick.
Did they mention anything else in there? I don't think they mentioned anything else in there.
Well, there's one particular line that I really want to point out, which is, in short, we don't want you to feel like you have to compromise your build in order to boost your score with additional medals. Yeah, you do realize that players are going to, try and absolutely dunk as many points as possible, right? So, people will be grinding that shit, whether you like it or not. it is also good to note that some medals that are only available for will only be available for Guardian games and will not be available in Vanguard playlists. So don't expect finishers to grant you a medal in Nightfalls, which is kind of dumb because there's actually several builds that require you to finish to get heavy ammo, heavier special. Kind of shitty, but meh. Whatever, it is what it is. People are still going to do what they want to do in PvE, but it'll be interesting. They're also taking a look at medals specifically for the active surges, so that'll be nice. Also, fuck Battlegrounds. Danny, I think you can agree with me on this. 95% of the Battlegrounds fucking suck. Yes, they're short, but they suck ass. Your thoughts?
On what?
On the Battlegrounds.
On the Battlegrounds? I kind of wish they would not put them in the playlist, but they seem...
Thank you.
Fully, like...
They're running out of content, Danny. They can't make new strikes.
Just bring back the old strikes.
I mean, they did it for fucking Sepix Prime, and that was a certified banger when they brought it back. The fuck?
I'm so surprised they didn't bring back Cerberus Vey 3.
Yeah, that was a little weird. And again,
meme.
I think Battlegrounds is so fucking ass. Other than one single Battlegrounds, which is oh fuck, what's the Battlegrounds that I always talk about, Danny? That's not bad. I'm pretty sure it's the one on Cosmodrome. It's you start off again trying to... It's where the Cabal and the Hive are.
Oh, one of the first ones they did.
Yeah, that's like the only one that I don't mind, just because I personally find it enjoyable, but it's also like stupid easy. The rest of the Battlegrounds are just annoying as shit, especially the Psyops. The Psyops ones are so fucking annoying.
Oh, they're awful as Nightfall. They are
I bet
painful.
they're impossible to fucking do. Yeah, no. Bungie, please, for the love of God, listen to your players. Stop putting Battlegrounds as Nightfalls. They're miserable. You already have miserable strikes. For fuck's sakes, Corrupted exists.
I will say at the very least they added some good checkpoints in that one. Because it needed them badly.
I mean, Techian still sucks. It's still a miserable Nightfall.
It's brutal with modifiers.
It's fuck that. Fuck that. So, and onto this, we come into Gambit. And this one I feel like we actually need to put a little bit more time into discussing, Danny, simply because this is, I think, one of the biggest things that people talked about, especially on Twitter, because you've probably seen the same post that I've been seeing. And I'll just go ahead and read it out. As many of you noticed, we've been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside Witch Queen. In that revamp, the team made significant changes across 5 categories in Gambit: core activity fundamentals, primeval tuning, invasions, ammo economy, and rewards. Unfortunately, these updates didn't move the needle for player engagement. Although we know our Gambit fans mostly care about new or returning maps, this is an area of the game with lower engagement that would take resources away from more popular parts of the game to shore up, basically what they were saying about PvP. While we don't have plans to dedicate more resources to significantly transform Gambit, we do have a few updates planned for the Year of the Final Shape. These include porting the Cathedral of Scars map and its beautiful Dreaming City setting into the latest version of D2, as well as adding the Shadow Legion and Lucent Hive enemy types. That's super fucking annoying.
Yeah, the Lucent Hive, I'm not super happy with seeing that in there.
Yeah,
the Shadow Legion, it's fine. They just have a shield thingy.
Yeah,
okay.
Lucent Hive should not be brought in because, for those of you that don't remember, Gambit's still on the PvP sandbox.
Yep, and
which means they're going to be hitting awful. Like trucks.
Yep.
They will most likely one-shot you.
The only way I'm going to be okay with those is if they replace the Shriekers for the Hive.
Oh,
Shriekers are the worst. They will literally kill you in 2 seconds.
Wait, the ones that open up with the eye, right?
Yep. They are miserable to get
They have
in
lice. They
Gambit.
have lucent hive types.
No, they don't have Lucent Hive types for that, but I'm hoping they've just replaced the Shriekers entirely with the Lucent Hive.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you. Along with that, I hate to be that guy, but I think they should just replace the Cabal with the Shadow Legion.
Honestly, yeah, no. Because, like, there's no real difference between the two in Gambit. It's just the shield things. That's basically it.
Yeah. So. So yeah. Unfortunately, uh, sorry guys for those of you Gambit enjoyers. Uh, you're kind of shit out of luck on this one.
I will, however, be playing Gambit just purely for the map. Because that is the best Gambit map they've ever made.
Oh, the Dreaming City one.
Yep, that is the best map they've ever made.
Let me know when you do that. When you are you gonna stream doing it?
I might stream some of it when it goes live.
If you do, let me know so that way I can join you. Because I figured it'll probably be better if you have at least somebody who has an inkling. Actually, you know what? You know who would love to also join us, Danny? Who's actually gotten better at it?
Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
I feel like Sawa would very much enjoy playing Gambit with you.
I have actually been enjoying playing Gambit just because like it's easy loot. It's really easy loot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just it's a really
Like,
big time investment.
Honestly, like most of Gambit matches I play are done in like 5 minutes, if that.
That's nuts. The fuck? I remember when they used
Yeah.
to be like 15-minute slog fests.
Yeah, no, it's just one round. They're all just one round. You can burn a Primeval real quick.
Jesus. So,
Especially since they keep giving you heavy ammo.
yep.
Which I think was a mistake.
Yeah. Alright, moving on to armor set rewards. A long time ago, we shared a plan to address some concerns on reward balance. Players have pointed out that we didn't release any new armor set for the Ritual playlist, with Lightfall as previously called out in our yearly release schedule. Delivering Ritual armor sets at the rates we have in the past has become increasingly challenging, especially considering these sets have historically had very low adoption by players as both base armor and cosmetic ornaments. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a reason why, because you keep monetizing ornaments
Well,
in the Eververse store.
they're talking about the ones from the vendors. Like,
Yeah, because
the
they're
Vanguard.
because most
They're
of
just
them are
not good.
they're all fucking reshaded. They're just almost the exact same pieces, just reshaded into their
'Cause they are.
playlist. Yeah, reshaded into their into their pieces. Which, like, Bungie, please, for the love of God, it's not that hard to fucking create new armor that looks halfway decent. Like, where the fuck is this bear helmet?
That's coming next season. That's Trials.
Because that's a warlock helmet.
It's Titan.
Is that Titan?
That's Titan.
That's weird. That frame looks very small for a Titan.
It's gonna be like light Titan armor.
Interesting. Man, I wish Warlocks got that. They're probably gonna give them some ass tier fucking head ornament like they always do.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do, because Trials is the only like vendor that seems to get unique armor.
It's because it's the only PvP mode that's actually worth a damn. All the best shit goes to Trials. Why play Crucible and Gambit? We just do Trials and get a bunch of free shit.
Yeah. Or just watch someone play Trials and get reputation.
Amen. Along with that, there's going to be game security. The security team is working on preventing cheaters from ruining the experiences for legitimate players, whether that be directly in competitive PvP activities or indirectly, i.e., via boosting or making a new burner account and bringing them into game content like Trials. Danny, I don't want to really read all of this. If you wouldn't mind just kind of TLDRing it for those of the people watching YouTube.
So the first thing they talk about, of course, they ban the abuse of external accessibility tools. Basically, anyone caught like abusing those to get an edge in certain things are being banned, which fair enough. They've also been working with BattleEye to address network manipulation tools, which, yes, they really should.
Uh-huh.
And some people have probably seen and noted that some people have been gotten by unjust bans from false flag reports. And they've been
Yeah.
talking about that as well. And they're putting in some thresholds to minimize the risk of those false positives.
Well, that's
Because
good
they
at
had
least.
a lot of
There was a
people
lot of
get
content
banned.
creators. Yeah, there was a lot of content creators that got hit by that shit.
But I will say they did at least work fast at unbanning them relatively quickly.
Yeah. Well, because, the PvP community isn't, toxic or anything.
Now they want to make sure that they don't have to hear about it for months on end.
Pretty much. Now, stability updates. God, this is a long section. Danny, would you mind handling this one too, please?
Yeah, again, they talked about this a little bit earlier this season, where some of their back-end changes that they made resulted in the claims and server messaging system overloading. So over the next season or two, they're going to be working on cutting that down so that the claims and server messaging system doesn't get overloaded, and hopefully has a way to divert stuff if it needs to, so that they can do maintenance in the background, hopefully without having to bring the servers offline, aside from major updates.
Right, which I think is a good thing. I feel like that's always been a core thing that Bungie has been solid on, is just working
Yeah.
on trying to make the game overall more accessible and to make it easier to work on shit. Because we all know how long queue times can get.
Yep. Because most of the people that play Destiny play a lot of Destiny and are sitting there waiting to get back into the game when they get booted off.
Go touch some fucking grass.
Yep.
Along with that, the new seasonal structure, as we mentioned back in February, we've been working behind the scenes to shake up the seasonal paradigm this year to subvert player expectations and make each season feel unique. Although we'll talk a bit more about this below, and you'll see it in action in our showcase, we're giving ourselves more freedom to stretch narratively and in gameplay systems throughout Season 22 and 23. I'm very excited for that because I've thought that these past two seasons, both the initial season of Lightfall and the current season, Season of the Deep, has been not too bad. I think that the seasonal activities are still buns. They're still garbage. But at least Season of the Deep seasonal activity is actually pretty to look at.
Yeah, like
Also fishing.
yeah,
Fishing. Fucking motherfucking fishing.
we
Greatest
have
activity ever
been
created.
we have been on the same seasonal structure for too long, and I'm glad that they're working on shaking it up. It's like that little bit of freshness goes a long way.
Danny, I'm not gonna lie. Every time we talk about the seasonal activity, I always think of that scene from Holes of the lady and her grandpa, and it's just her talking about the seasonal activities. I'm tired, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. Like, that is the exact scenario that I feel like the D2 community is in with the seasonal activities. We're tired, Bungo. Well, that's too damn bad. Like,
It's like
oh my
Destiny
god.
for a while, and this is honest. Destiny has been in that unhelpful loop of like the devs not really having the time or the room to do something, and the community complaining that they don't have the time or the room to do something about it, while also knowing that they don't have the time or the room to do something about it. They're just stuck in a loop. No one can do anything about it unless they change the structure.
Honestly, Danny, I think after Final Shape, I think they should be like, all right, you know what? No content for a year. We're just going to go back to the basics and work on shit. And
Well,
may or may not update the engine.
they have said that the Light and Dark saga will end at Final Shape. Not the seasons after. Final Shape is the end of Light and Dark saga. So what comes after that in the seasons will be new.
Yes, and that's going to be very interesting because that is all the roadmap has led up to, which was Final Shape.
Yep.
So I really, if I'm gonna be honest, Danny, I really would love to see at least a 6 month span. And I know a lot of players are gonna be like, "Oh, but there's gonna be no content." No, shut the fuck up. I want Bungie to just be like, you know what? We're gonna go back to the fucking basics, and we're just gonna rework everything. Hell, take a fucking year. Take a fucking year. Don't have any seasonal shit. Be like, hey, we're gonna spend a whole year to revamp everything. PvE, PvP, both Crucible and Gambit, Trials, and Iron Banner. Because we all know that those four fucking PvP modes are fucking garbage right now. Because PvP fucking sucks. And every PvP player needs to go touch grass. The seasonal activities desperately need a rework. The seasonal events desperately need a fucking rework. They're all so fucking boring every goddamn year.
I'm gonna take a big shot in the dark for an idea that they could possibly be working on after Final Shape.
Okay, hit me with it.
They could possibly be thinking of a way to combine D1 and D2 and like revamp it on a new engine.
I could see the new engine part. I don't know what you mean by combining D1 and D2, like into just one full game.
Yeah, have the entirety of D1 and D2 playable together. You just play it seamlessly.
So, if that's the case, though, then how do you handle raids that have been reprised? Because there's some changes in the D2 raids versus the D1 raids that are different. For example, a great example is Vault of Glass. Vault of Glass's second encounter in D1, you just had to shoot the things when they were lit up. You didn't have to do them in order. That was a D2 mechanic that got added. So
putting them all together, they would have to be like on the same systems. So they would update everything that they've updated, probably go with what works best. But the big part would be having it on a new engine.
Which means that they would no longer have to vault shit.
Yep, like, because the current engine, to be honest, it's being held together by duct tape.
What is the D2 current engine?
Well, it's still, as far as I know, it is still a modified version of the Reach engine that they were using when they were still part of Activision, because Activision wanted them to make games like every 2 years.
Oh my god, what engine was that? Hold on.
I think it literally is just the Reach engine.
No, there's a specific... Every engine has a very specific name. Hold on.
Yeah.
What game engine
was
Halo Reach on? Blam engine. / Havoc.
Okay, so Destiny 2 is running on a modified version of the Blam engine called the Tiger engine. So yes, it is in fact still using the same engine, basically.
Now, hold on. Let's just take a moment real quick. Halo Reach release date. This engine is over 10 years old, dog.
Yep.
Halo Reach came out in September 14th, 2010. This engine is almost 24 years old.
Yep. This is what happens.
My bad. It's almost 23 years old.
Yep.
What the fuck?
This is what happens a lot when you have a series of games that are, due to corporate decisions, intended to be pushed out every year or two, because they're made to be easy to make copies of. The problem with those are, the more copies you make of it, the more unstable it gets.
Yeah, I don't know why they just don't go to the newest Unreal Engine. Because that shit is a fucking powerhouse. Unreal, what is it? Unreal, what are they on right now? Unreal 4?
5, I think.
Is it 5?
I think they're working on 6.
Yeah, because those engines, they're fucking nutty. They are
I will
nutty
say
strong.
one thing about them, though. The games that are on those engines can really take a lot of power to run.
This is also true. Actually, hold on. What was the engine that Crisis 3 was on?
The Cry engine.
Yeah, honestly, hear me out. That was not a bad engine.
No, it's not a bad engine. It just was not optimized.
No, not for the game. Because Crisis 2 was on the same engine, but Crisis 2 was so much more polished.
Yep.
So I think, there's any number of engines that they could go with. I think Unreal Engine, Cry Engine, all the Far Cry games are on Unreal 4, or at least most of them are on Unreal 3, Unreal 4, right?
It's a lot. It'll be a lot of licensing stuff because depending on who owns the engine, like for instance, Unreal's owned by Epic.
Here's the thing though. I don't know a single Epic game that doesn't run absolutely phenomenally.
Oh yeah, no, because they throw enough money at something. Yeah.
Yeah, Lord knows Fortnite makes fucking enough.
Yeah, they don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, because they've got every fucking 12-year-old across the planet playing that shit. God, just go touch. God, go touch grass and eat some dirt. Jesus Christ.
Their best decision that they ever made though was adding a no build mode.
Amen.
Because that actually
saved
so
Fortnite.
many more people to play.
That actually saved Fortnite. Legitimately saved Fortnite. Now, with that being said, a preview of what's to come. Basically, a 6 months progress report of stuff that's going to be coming up. So, there's going to be a bunch of stuff coming out, and a bunch of it is going to be released at the showcase. I believe that's August 22nd.
22nd.
Yep. Now, let me take a look at when August 22nd is. That is
a Tuesday.
That is a Tuesday, which means, Danny, I do not work that day. I think that we should absolutely stream the showcase together as a part of the Trials of Casuals podcast.
I am very intrigued to watch it because of the first paragraph that they have on that preview of what's to come.
And we'll read this out real quick. Before we get into our 6-month progress report on our goals for the year, we wanted to share some previews of several quality of life upgrades and core sandbox updates coming in Season 22. Some of these are designed to simply make your everyday D2 experience better. Others should result in substantial meta refreshes for both PvE and PvP.
That is a very, very strong sentence.
That is a very loaded sentence, I would argue.
Yeah, that right there can either be really, really good or really bad.
Nobody wants another mountaintop gnawing hunger meta.
Because the quality of life stuff, they actually talk about some really good ones right away.
Yep. So, first and foremost, quality of life upgrades. Cosmetic favoriting. At long last, you'll be able to pin up to 100. What the fuck? Holy shit. 100 of your favorite shaders, ornaments, and emotes to the top of the list starting in Season 22. Thank God I could finally fucking pick goddamn photo finish instantly. Holy shit. That is banger.
Great change.
That's a banger. Certified banger. Ship it. Stasis aspects and fragments are now moved to the vendor system. Any character who has completed the Light Beyond Light campaign will be able to acquire all available stasis aspects and fragments from LC Bray on Europa starting next season. That's also another certified banger to get new
grindy quests.
What's up? Yeah, no more grindy bullshit goddamn quests of having to fight the fucking lieutenants again. God, that was so awful. This is a phenomenal change. Phenomenal change, and it'll also mean that you won't have to... Because originally, when they released the new fragments, you had to go back and do quests to get them.
Mm-hmm.
That was annoying as shit. So, now you can just...
buy
them. That's great. I love that.
And another banger of a change.
Transmats will now be unlocks. Like shaders before them, transmats will now be stored as unlocks on your account rather than consumable items. Feel free to change transmats at will without needing to grab copies from collections or find them in the wild. And I fucking love that. So here's the question though. I hate the fact that they chose the ship that looks the most like a fucking Among Us.
They did kind of do that.
But here's my question though: is will the ones that you currently have in your inventory, will those automatically be updated to ones that you have acquired?
I think it's going to be the same thing as like the projections and how
Where
they
it's just
did with the
pick and
shaders,
choose?
to where you can just, as soon as you get them, you have them unlocked and you can safely dismantle them.
That's perfect. I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that because I have not bought transmats for a long time
My
simply
inventory is
because
so full.
there's so many of them. There's so fucking many. And
My inventory is so full.
they take up so much inventory space, Danny.
They do, and my inventory is going to be so clear after this change.
Yeah, and plus because here's the issue with transmats. Transmat effects. They don't show what you've already previously gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So, with this being said, now it'll show you what you previously owned, so all you have to do is just go to the fucking collections tab.
Yep.
I think that's a phenomenal change. Wish Ender Pursuit improvements. The Wish Ender quest has gone through a number of changes throughout the years, and in Season 22, it becomes a real quest. No more charged or uncharged discs sitting in your inventory, just a single quest strand in your quest log. That
Great
is
change.
phenomenal change. Absolutely banger of a change. Because that quest is one of the more annoying quests to do, just because it's linked to a dungeon, and it is a hidden one, and it is a pain in the ass.
And you have to run the dungeon essentially twice.
Yep, because you have to do it once in order to even unlock the damn thing.
Yep. And another good change.
Yeah, Resources tab added to Collections. This is a change we are really excited about. We now have a Resources tab in the Collections, which shows you all of the currencies, upgrade materials, and engrams in the game, appropriately categorized, with information on how to acquire it, as well as what to do with it once you have it. And this is absolute certified banger. Along with that, I love the fact what they're highlighting here. You can now carry up to 5 exotic ciphers.
Yep.
Let's go!
They listened to these cap increases.
Oh my god, that is a certified fucking banger! I also like the fact that they're actually putting the exotics up top, or up at the front, the legendaries below, and then obviously blues below that. I think that is a phenomenal change because most people are going to want to use, obviously, exotics and legendaries first.
Yep.
Plus, the amount of fucking ascendant alloys, engrams, shit like that. Pain in the ass. So,
And also, like, having material in the game to teach people what each resource does without them having to go to a Wikipedia page or a YouTube video to have someone explain to them what they do, that's really nice to just have it in the game.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. And I like the fact that they finally did this for the exotic ciphers, because now you can actually,
Now I can pick the ones up from the season pass.
Yeah, and not fucking feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So that's a banger of a change. Along with that, there's some interesting new ones. Iron Banner challenges split. With Pinnacle rewards not being as big of a draw as they once were season over season since Season of the Deep began, we felt it was time to split the Pinnacle acquisition and reputation multipliers we added back in Season of the Haunted. Starting in Season 22, Iron Banner will have 2 different stacking challenges each day. One for players who just want their reputation multiplier, which does not require using specific seasonal subclasses, and one for players who are going after their Pinnacle rewards, which does require using seasonal subclasses. I think that is a banger of a change. It is a great thing for Iron Banner.
That was another change that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Starting next season, like, you don't have to play 3 or however many it was in each playlist activity to get your weekly rewards from each. You just have to do 9 in one playlist in Season 22. So you can just not play Crucible or not play Gambit. You could just play Vanguard if you wanted to, and get all of the weeklies done.
That's actually a certified banger.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal change, and it's
Wait,
also
hold on,
going to
where the
show
fuck is
them.
that?
I forget how far back. It was in the economy change blog, I think, actually.
Okay,
I
then
don't think they went over it, but
okay, then we won't worry about that right now.
yeah, it was back in the developer insight economy and rewards update.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: Ritual rank ups immediately. Dating all the way back to Season 3, Ritual reputations, previously known as Valor, Glory, and Infamy, waited until you hit Orbit to process any rank ups, because the almost full screen banner would overwrite the scoreboard if it showed up earlier. When we revamped and streamlined reputations over the past few years, we moved the rank up banner to the bottom of the screen and made them less conspicuous, but we left the processing of the ranks until you hit Orbit. Now, we've finally taken the step and made the rank up process immediately at the end of that activity. No more rating for your rewards. Now they'll show up right up in your loot stream. I think that is also a solid change.
Really good.
That way you're not getting bombarded with like 5 million fucking engrams.
Yep.
Now, sandbox updates. Woo! New strand aspects. At the start of Season 22, we're adding 3 new aspects to enhance the strand kit of each class by adding a unique dynamic gameplay element. These aspects will be Whirling Maelstrom for Hunter, Banner of War for Titans, and Weave Walk for Warlocks. Stay tuned for more info as we get closer to the launch of the season. I am very intrigued because they did a pretty good job with those additional ones when Season 21 launched.
It's just the fact that they're already adding more aspects. That's really good.
Yes. It means that
now add some to stasis.
Yeah, now they need to fix stasis.
Buff stasis, please.
Along with that, exotic armor reworks. Part 2. Similar to our first wave of exotic revamps in Season of the Deep, the team is reworking another bunch of underused exotic armor pieces in Season 22 to shake things up and give players a new reason to dive into their vaults. Watch for a new Developer Insights article going live next week to cover all the changes we've got coming. Oh, Danny, next week's going to be fucking long as shit.
They gave us a time frame.
At least they gave us a head. Alright, so Danny, hear me out. The moment I get out of Raid on Thursday, we're going in it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be because we are going to cover all of it. And it's going to be a very long fucking twab.
I'm very interested. Like, this whole section of sandbox updates, I'm very interested in.
Yeah. Along with that, new weapon subfamilies incoming. Looking further into the future, we'll be introducing some entirely new weapon subfamilies with the final shape. Tune into the showcase on August 22nd to get your first look at some of these in action, as well as some other unexpected additions to Destiny 2's arsenal yet to come. For those of you wondering what is a sub-weapon or a subfamily, we talked about, if you didn't watch our video last week, Warden's Law. Is a hand cannon that is a 2-round burst. The only other burst hand cannon is Crimson currently in the game. So they will both most likely. So Warden's Law is getting a new frame. Crimson may also get a new frame because of that. So it's going to be basically a new version of the gun, kind of how it works. So we could get any number of things. Something that I think would be really fun, Danny, is I would love to see a bow that fires multiple arrows. That's not Verglass. Because it's ass.
I'm really interested to see them branch out the weapon types.
When was the last time they actually added a new frame?
The last time they actually added something new is when they added a new weapon type and altogether.
Which was?
Is when they added the glaives.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was in Witch Queen. That was a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because the only other thing that happened is they moved things to different frame types.
Yeah, hold on. What was the last time before that?
Before that is when they added trace rifles, I think, actually. Oh, no, not trace rifles. When they added the legendary trace rifles, actually.
And before that, I was thinking it was when they added swords, right?
Yeah. Although they had swords from the beginning.
Well, no, but they added new frames for the swords.
Yeah, they added the vortex.
Yeah,
swords.
yeah. So that'll be really cool. Weapon tuning preview. So here's some things that to just keep in mind. If you didn't catch our mid-season weapon tuning update, which we did cover, I believe, in a previous TWAB, right?
I believe we did.
Yeah. Uh, you might not know that we have a substantial shakeup coming to the weapons sandbox in Season 22 in the form of decoupling damage falloff from range. We'll share some details in the upcoming weapon balance update article, but for now, the high-level goals are reduce the variance between the optimal engagement ranges of our mid-range weapons, i.e. auto rifles, pulse rifles, and hand cannons, i.e. literally the shit I use on a daily basis, and slightly reduce the average engagement range in Crucible by pulling in the maximum damage fall-off distances of many weapons. Too many people getting shot from way too far across the map is
Yep.
basically what it means.
This is basically how they intend to rein in high impact pulse rifles. Like no time to explain.
Yeah, that shit kind of crushed Crucible. What was it? A couple weeks ago?
It's still
It's
like
still
even
it's
after
still
its
crushing.
nerfs. Yeah.
I mean, also its catalyst is kind of nuts.
Yep.
So that's good. There's the touch of malice. In addition to this, we have a lot of other things to look forward to in Season 22. This is not a comprehensive list, but we wanted to give you a sneak peek. Hand cannons will see increased reload speeds and PvE damage buffs against minor and major enemies. Sword full power heavy attacks will be usable with a non-zero amount of sword energy, and Sword Guard is being buffed in several areas. Touch of Malice is getting some tweaks we think players will enjoy, and perks such as Bipod, Envious Assassin, and Under Over will become much more useful in Season 22. Everything about what they just said is an absolute banger.
Yeah. The other thing they mentioned, they have hand tune a smallest of exotics and all special weapons with the intention of keeping them near where they are in the live game.
Just give them whether it's a little bit more power, a little bit less power based on how often they're used.
Yep.
Because obviously we don't want another Lord of Wolves meta.
Yep.
We really don't want another Lord of Wolves meta. Oh my god, that was miserable.
Seeing Envious Assassin in the list of perks that they said will become more useful next season is terrifying.
See, I'm actually kind of intrigued by Bipod because I want to see Bipod be put almost exclusively on LMGs. So that way you get way more stability while crouching.
Oh, the way that it currently works, Bipod is, I think, only available on rockets.
Was that the one that fires 2 rockets?
It gives you 2 in the mag.
Right.
But it gives you, like, extra reserves without having to have reserve mods on your chest piece.
Which is interesting.
The downside is that your rockets do, like, 40% less damage.
Oh god, that's miserable. Fuck that.
Yeah, the trade-off is not good compared to Envious Assassin, which is just
also,
kill stuff with another weapon.
Also, what the fuck is Under Over?
I forget exactly what it is. I'm actually gonna have to look it up because...
Please do, because I'm curious as to what the fuck it is, because I don't remember what this perk is.
I know it's not good.
There's a lot of perks that are not good.
This one is, like, exceptionally not good from what I remember.
Once you find out what it does, please let the viewers know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if I can actually find a gun with it on it. You know, it's a perk that's not used a whole lot when you can't remember what guns actually have it.
To be honest, I genuinely thought that like most of the guns with it were vaulted, because I don't see it on like any guns at all.
It's one of the newer perks.
Is it actually? That's so sad.
Let's see, what... Okay, what does it do? Increases damage against shielded targets.
Well, that's actually not that bad, though.
See, the thing is, though, what's the other perk?
Oh, Oh, you mean adaptive munitions?
Adaptive munitions.
Yeah, adaptive munitions kind of makes it fucking useless.
Because under over, I'm pretty sure commonly is in the damage column.
Yeah, that's not good. Also, I apologize if I'm picking at my pinky. For those of you watching, I got a splitter at work yesterday, and now it's starting to aggravate my finger. So,
Hmm.
wow, that's really bad. All right, we're gonna move on before we cry a little bit more, Danny.
Yeah.
Reinforcing our goals for the year. About 6 months ago, we laid out our plan to achieve 4 main goals for D2 in the previous state of the game: expand players' imaginations, bring challenge back to Destiny, excuse me, enrich our content, and connect our guardians. With Lightfall in its first 2 seasons under our belts, and the launch of Season 22 in our showcase just around the corner, we'd like to take a moment to catch up everyone up on how far we've come on these goals and where we're going from here. Think of this as our Destiny 2 scorecard. First up, expand players' imaginations. In Lightfall and Season of Defiance, we transform many of the ways players typically interact with the game, from core systems and build crafting overhauls to streamlining seasonal currencies. With Season of the Deep, we replaced the typical vendor upgrade model and introduced the new Deep Dives activity and Pressure Trials, which represent fresh experiments for Destiny 2 that we believe are worth the investment. While there is always room for us to revise and improve, the community's response has reinforced that we're on the right track with norm-breaking efforts like these, and we'll be rolling out something very new and different in Season 23. Now, without spoiling anything ahead of the showcase, our next season will be heading into creative territories we've never explored before. We're changing some things up in a big way, including the seasonal progression paradigm with an all-new mechanic. All will be revealed on August 22nd. That gets me very excited. That gets me
They do have a
absolutely
little
pumped.
teaser of it later on.
All right, then we'll keep scrolling. Taking a step back to examine the overall narrative of the year, the team is laser focused on ensuring the connective tissue in our storytelling between seasons 20 and 23. And the final shape is more impactful than last year's seasons were leading up to Lightfall. We're taking the feedback to heart and loading this year up with important moments designed to capture players' imaginations and move the saga forward with each beat. We've already proven this out in Season of the Deep with the revelations of the Witness's origins, substantial lore drops throughout the season in Neomuna, and the implications of where our Guardians go from here after the final mission's cutscenes. We know there are some who would have preferred to experience these stories during Lightfall's campaign. With those players in mind, we believe the totality of this year's narratives will set the stage for the final shape in ways that a single story beat never could. And to put concerns to rest now, the final shape and its raid will provide a climactic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga before we look ahead to what comes in Destiny 2. And this is what Danny alluded to a little bit earlier.
Yep.
Along with that, bring challenge back to Destiny. Although we were a bit uneven on this one at the start of the year, we feel we achieved this goal after making additional tweaks based on general feedback at Lightfall's launch. While enemies in Neomuna still pack a punch regardless of your level, players have been able to steadily climb in power to take on the more difficult challenges they may have had time with earlier in the year due to the absence of a power level cap increase in Season of the Deep. Again, still think it was a phenomenal change. It was nice to have a catch-up season.
Yeah, so guess what? Read the next sentence.
Following the success of these changes, we're confirming today that we also won't be raising the power level cap in Season 22. Let's go! We've seen a ton of positive feedback on this decision from players who appreciate being able to play at their own pace rather than feeling compelled to chase pinnacles each week. Of course, we'll still have plenty of activities where power is crucial, including Master Raid and Dungeon content, Legend and Master Nightfalls, Grandmasters, Legend and Master Solo Law Sectors, and Trials of Osiris. This will still be the case throughout Season 22, and your artifact power will still be as important as ever. For those craving even tougher challenges, we raised the bar on Grandmaster Nightfall difficulty this season with our first Shakeups Battleground GM, which will make an additional appearance before the end of the season for those who didn't get a chance to take it on the first time. As usual, we'll continue to monitor the feedback as we add more battlegrounds to the Vanguard Nightfall and GM schedule later in Nightfall's year. Still, though, that fucking Shakeups Battleground can kiss my ass.
It's brutal.
Fucking brutal. So fucking dumb. Enrich our content. You know what, Danny? I'm gonna let you take this one.
Based on our feedback throughout the Year of the Witch Queen, we knew players wanted more exotic missions that the community would need to discover on their own. Also heard the request from longtime players for the return of previously released exotic missions that the team absolutely loved creating, and we got to work to answer that call. So, this is the thing I've been waiting for so long. In Season of Defiance, we delivered the Avalon exotic mission with Excalibur as its prize for those who discover the path to the Vex network. Season of the Deep brought the Whetstone exotic mission to deep divers in search of the new Wicked Implement scout rifle and its catalyst. And in just a few weeks, we're bringing back some of the best Destiny 2 content we've ever made with our new exotic mission Rotator starting on day 1 of Season 22. The rotation will kick off with the return of Presage to offer a new avenue for players to earn Dead Man's Tale, which will also be craftable for the first time. After that, Vox Obscura and Operation Seraph Shield will join the rotation.
I mean, I am. But I turned the camera off. It's all good. Also, say hi to Danny, Mama Fox.
Hi, Danny! It's Mama Fox!
Whoa.
Hi, Danny! It's Preacher, too! He may have been drinking tonight. Hey, Dom.
Love that.
Sorry about that. This ADD moment brought to you by Mama Fox and Preacher. So
All good.
So go ahead, Danny. Go ahead and continue. I just turned my camera off. I apologize to all of you that are watching on YouTube. All you have to look at right now is Danny's beautiful face, and well, Danny's smug, beautiful looking face, and the twab. So go ahead and continue, Danny.
They're offering up their respective craftable exotic weapons and catalysts as well. That's a big thing, by the way.
Massive. Yes. So,
We'll
and the first
more
one being
details.
Dead Man's Tale, which I'm very excited about being able to craft Dead Man's Tale, because
getting able to make what you want on that gun is huge. But also being able to do the mission again on the new sandbox
Danny,
with Strand.
So Danny, hear me out. I think you and I need to go back and we need to speed run Presage again. And we should speed run it on Strand. What do you think?
I'm so ready for it because, like, the last time that mission was here, let's see, did we even have stasis really fully fleshed out? That mission's been gone a long time.
We didn't have the light subclass updates.
Nope. This was before the subclass revamp.
Yes. So I'm very excited to see what I get to do with this subclass revamp. I am very, very excited.
And also having Seraph Shield back to actually, like, give it a good run after the changes.
Because that mission is actually kind of miserable to try and grind. It's kind of awful.
It was rough. But, however, anyone that missed out on getting Revision will be able to get it, because that's what this rotator's for. Guaranteed drops of these weapons.
I'm also really hoping that we get and I agree with your statement from, I think it was last week, Danny? Or was it last week or the week before, that if they're going to allow Dead Man's Tale to be craftable, we need to get Hawkmoon back so we can craft Hawkmoon. Because, that fucking gun has some nutty perks!
I think that is actually probably their plan when the Hawkmoon mission gets added into the rotator.
I'm going to be so excited because this also means, Danny, that any new exotic missions from now on will basically guarantee you craftable weapons. And I think that is a huge plus, because that gives you another piece of content to farm every single week.
Yep.
And as long as it drops a red border every single week. If it doesn't drop a red border every week, I'm gonna be a little tilted.
The other thing that they could do is every time you complete it, it could drop one and have a chance of it being a red border.
It needs to be an increased chance, though. I think it should be, in my opinion, Danny, I think it should be a 50-50.
I think what they'll do, they might actually do a similar thing to what they've been doing with the raids, and the dungeons and have certain triumphs in these count towards increasing your drop chances.
The other thing that I think that they could also do, Danny, is give every single one of them the ability to have a deep side harmonizer used on it.
They probably will.
Yeah, because I think so. Even if you don't get a red border, you still don't feel like you're losing. You're losing a chance because you have a deep side harmonizer, which they gave us a decent amount in this season pass. They gave us what, 3 or 4?
If you got the season pass, you got 5.
Yeah, 5 of them. That's pretty massive.
Which is enough. That's enough to completely make a pattern.
Yeah, here's the issue though. I don't want them to make it like a super dumb high number to where you have to farm like a fuck ton of red borders. If you're gonna do it, just keep it with the rest of the legendaries. Either do 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're exotics. Trust me, I know they're exotics. For those of you that are probably bitching in my comments below, they are exotics, yes. But it is a mission that every fucking person can do. Please, for the love of God, don't make it impossible to grind. Holy shit.
The thing that I'm thinking as well, since they're going to make this a rotator, it's probably going to have matchmaking for all of these.
That is going to be interesting. I would like to see an option to turn matchmaker off, just because I want you and me to go back and duo speedrun Presage. Because that might be one of my fondest memories of us first gaming together. And like actually spending, because we spent what, like 2 weeks grinding Presage, getting the speed running strat down for that. Oh my god.
I think I soloed it twice. Practicing for it.
Oh my god. That was so much fun. That was an absolute blast speed running that shit. So that again, certified banger. Now, interestingly enough, they're going to be... Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you handle this because they're talking about the PvP box a little bit more here. So
yeah. So I'm going to TLDR this one because like we covered a lot of the stuff they were talking about earlier, but
what the fuck is
they're
that?
trying to work on freshening up the sandbox for PvP, which is going to come with that decoupling range damage fall off change at the beginning of the season, and they're going to see how that works, as well as adding a new emblem for competitive, some new Trials armor, and some new and returning weapons for both Iron Banner and Trials.
Right.
Interesting to see.
The other thing is that second paragraph.
Yep. This.
And let's go over that.
Yeah.
So, Danny, if you would not mind going over exactly what the fuck is this Pathfinder UI?
This is going to be your essential like new way of earning pinnacles, if I'm gathering your information correctly, where rather than having challenges tied to specific things, they're going to have like different things you can do to advance towards your rewards. They're trying to replace bounties with this system. Rather than having to pick up bounties, you just do stuff.
Which is kind of interesting, because if they fully get rid of bounties, you will no longer be able to stock up on bounties before the next season.
Which, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Because...
I think that's a let's talk about that for a moment. I know that we're already at an hour 20, but we're already here, Danny. We might as well go into it. I personally don't give a shit about it. Like, you can do whatever you want, but I don't want to be so far behind. Like, so many people stock up on bounties before the end of a season, to just absolutely ass blast the beginning of the new season and be like, all right, I'm done in the first week. Like, bro, that's so boring.
Yep. I think changing to this kind of a system is basically their way of being like, you've enjoyed your time bounty hoarding and basically blasting through stuff immediately at the beginning of the season. How about you do stuff in the game to do it each season?
Yeah, I'm down for
instead.
That. Also, Denny, I don't know if you noticed in the picture. Did you notice the reticle? That's a console reticle.
Mm-hmm. That's
that actually brings me a little bit of joy that it's a console reticle.
yep.
That's a small. I know that it seems so dumb, but to have like a console reticle as console players, that feels a little good on the inside.
It's a PlayStation UI.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
it.
you can tell that like some of these nodes, like this one node down here on the bottom left, is fully completed, but it has nothing connecting to it.
Yeah.
So I think this is the system that they want to do, and Guardian Ranks was kind of a test for this system.
I don't think Guardian Ranks is that bad. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, like this, I actually like the look of this better than the idea of having to go to a vendor and pick up bounties.
Yeah, agreed. All right. And you know what, Danny? I will let you take the last one here. The connecting our guardians together. And because this is probably one of the biggest changes that we'll be receiving next year.
They wanted to actually have this feature ready for this season, but it just needed a little more time in the oven, and it's here basically. So, gameplay systems and quality of life features we added in Lightfall made Destiny 2 the most welcoming it's ever been for new and returning players. I can confirm this, it definitely has. And we're doubling down as we head into the final shape. Season 22 will include new ways to experience key in-game moments in Destiny 2's history to help get millions of Guardians caught up for the confrontation with the Witness. In Season 23, our upcoming Fireteam Finder, LFG feature, will be the silver bullet for players who've never had a full fireteam to run in-game content before, including raids, dungeons, master-level activities, and more. And in the final shape, we're making big changes to the progression system that will help connect even more players and remove barriers, keeping friends from taking on the same content together. We'll have more info on that in the showcase. So, that right there at the end, I think they might be taking the Paradox route with Destiny.
What do you mean by the
and
Paradox
I say that,
route?
I mean Paradox games. Whereas if one person owns all the DLC, you might be able to do all of the DLC with that person.
If they're the fire team leader.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which would be insanely good for getting people to play Destiny.
And that would actually entice people to buy said expansions to actually be able to play all of that content. I didn't even think about that. That's fucking huge. Also, this artwork of the three Guardians and then Misrax and Keitel.
This is one of the stills from the final shape trailer that they showed off at the Game Awards. Well, not the Game Awards, the Summer Game Fest. They are surrounded by Vex.
Which confirmed our suspicion, Danny.
Like, the final shape is going to have a lot of stuff to do with the Vex.
I mean, the Vex are kind of assholes. And let's be real, right? Because let's see, who are the only? What are the people that we still technically have enemies with? Because we've made friends with the Cabal, we've made friends with the Fallen. The Vex are still assholes. The Scorn are basically just corrupted Fallen. The Hive are assholes, and the Taken are assholes.
Well, the Hive and Taken are together.
Yes and no. I would simply because Savathun leads a Hive army.
Yeah, but Savathun's Hive are the Lucent Brood, and they're in a weird spot right now, and they're not going to be on super good terms with Xivu.
Right, which means the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I still say though, like the Lucent Brood, we're going to be keeping them like an arm's length away.
Well, yeah, we're not going to be getting up close and personal with them, but I would rather see a Lucent Brood on my team, than Xivu's Hive on my team. Just because Xivu's a bitch. Xivu's a fucking bitch.
The big thing is though, the reason why I think we're not going to make
turn my face cam
friends.
Back on. Whoop. There we go.
Yeah.
Hi.
The reason I think we're not going to make friends with the Lucent Brood is because they're putting them in Gambit.
and then they immediately take them away.
Yep. It's like...
I mean, I would laugh if they actually did that, though. That would be quite entertaining.
It would be really funny to be like, hey, look, the Light Hive are here in Gambit. Oh, no, we're allied with them now. We're taking them out of Gambit.
Well, it's weird, because we're allied with the Cabal. Well, because here's the thing, right? We're allied with not all Cabal and not all Fallen. We are allied with factions. Because obviously we're allied with the Cabal forces under Keitel. We're not allied with the Shadow Legion. We are allied with the House of Light under Misrax. We are not allied with the rest of like the 5 million war tribes that are the Fallen. So I'm wondering if we would get a specific Hive faction, which is Savathun and the Hive Brood.
It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, because Savathun is only going to play to what helps her.
Right.
She's looking for herself, not for anyone else.
Right. This also begs the question, we don't actually know, like, when we actually break it down, we actually know more about the Hive and the Taken than we do the Vex.
Yep,
That's kind of fucked. Like, that's actually fucked. We have so much Vex content, we don't actually know that much about them. We just know that they're heavily fucking intelligent.
The thing with the Vex is, unlike the Hive and the Fallen, the Vex are just kind of here. They're not serving the Witness. They weren't serving the Traveler. They're just kind of here for their own agenda.
Separate from literally everything else, because their whole goal is to consume intelligence.
They are trying to preserve their future. They jump through different timelines to basically take all of the resources they can find to extend their own timeline.
I am wondering, hear me out, Danny, I am wondering if we're going to end up getting a faction of the Vex on our side. Because in that statement that you stated, I wonder if the Vex will see a part of their timeline if they ally with the Guardians.
They might have, but the only Vex that are in our system are the ones that the rest of the Vex basically have a kill-on-sight order. The Soul Divisive are the one, like, group of Vex that...
Where are they at again?
They're in our system. All of the Vex that are in our system are part of the Soul Divisive.
So wait, why are they exiled from the rest of the Vex, though? That's what I'm curious.
They started worshipping the heart of the Black Garden. The Vex, as a whole, are a logic... Yeah, they're like a logic-based alien race. So, when a group of them stops following logic, the rest of them don't look kindly upon them. They're seen as, like, fanatical.
Well, and I mean, it would actually give a solid conclusion to Garden of Salvation.
Like, the Black Garden entirely. Like,
yeah,
we have so much information on the Black Garden, and yet...
It's the one thing Vex-wise that we actually do have information on.
Yeah.
So, I hear me out. I wonder if we actually pair up with the Soul Divisive.
I think that would be interesting.
I would love to fucking see that, because that would be so fucking cool. Because fuck the rest of the Hive, fuck the Taken. As much as I hate fighting the Scorn, they kind of got done dirty. I can't even deny that. Like, the Scorn just got fucked. Like, they didn't really get a choice in the matter. Yeah. I mean, they're a man-made product.
I have had some people mentioning to me that we may end up eventually getting some dialogue between Crow and Fickrul. Because Fickrul is still kind of out and about. Because he's cursed. Fickrul can't actually die. Because that's part of Riven's curse.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
And Aldrin is responsible for basically creating the Scorn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Oh
might get some
no.
dialogue between Crow and Fickrul.
What if we end up teaming up with the Scorn?
It'd be weird because the Scorn are just like
They're fucking zombies.
They are. They're like
They're legitimate
crossed
fucking.
between Hive and Fallen.
Right. But here's the thing, though. They're zombies with a conscience, and not just a conscience. They are zombies with actual like thinking capability.
Yeah, because like the only ones that we were actually able to see that had any form of like full-on consciousness were the Barons. Because like the rank and file Scorn just act.
They're mid. Yeah, they're mid.
Yeah.
They're that's like any other rank and file fucking enemy in this game. They're all fucking mindless for the most part.
Yeah.
But that's also just because they're cannon fodder for us to get our supers up.
Exactly.
So I would love that. I mean, that would be such a cool storyline. But again, it's just more kind of speculation.
Yeah.
With that being said, that is it for the state of the game. God damn, Danny. Damn, Danny. Back at it again with the state of the game. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
This one, there's some key things in here that I think a lot of people are just not focusing on because they took a few looks at it and was like, oh, they didn't really do anything for PvP or they didn't do anything for Gambit. It's like you kind of looked over the part that they're basically changing up the whole sandbox.
Yeah.
Literally next season.
Yeah, and you know what, Danny? I'm gonna ask you, out of everything, and there's a lot in this article, what is your favorite thing from the State of the Game article?
Honestly, it's the quality of life changes that they showed off here. Like,
I'm fucking with you on that. They're all fucking bangers.
Like, we're getting, like, on top of that, like, we're getting stuff people have been asking for. Like, being able to favorite shaders is great.
Being able to fucking actually collect transmat effects.
Yep, actually moving stasis over to the vendor system.
Getting a new engram system.
Yep. Showing off the resources.
That's I think that might actually be my favorite one out of everything, which sounds weird, but just having it all nice and tidy, I think it's gonna be really nice.
As well as like the sandbox changes. Like it's a 50-50 between the quality of life and the sandbox changes because I'm kind of down for a big meta shift.
I'm also agreed. The constant special ammo shit really starting to get old.
Double special it's
so boring.
Disgusting how good, like how much better it is than using any primary and in-game content. Like after you get past at level content, double special just so far outperforms primaries.
And I hate it. I hate that. As someone who almost primarily uses double primaries, almost exclusively, I genuinely hate using special ammo.
Yeah.
Like, heavy ammo is one thing, right? Because everybody gets heavy ammo. Everybody has to have a heavy equipped, right?
Yep.
But you can choose to have a special ammo equipped. And I don't like the fact, especially when they made it to where primary ammo is fucking infinite.
Yeah.
That probably was my favorite change of all when they first did that. I hate the fact that in order to do so much content, you have to run double special because it's just that strong. And that's why that statement of you shouldn't be locked to your loadout, like locked in what your loadout is to be able to do content. When they stated that, it brings me a little bit of joy.
Like, for instance, right now, I have been playing a lot of in-game content, like specifically like master raid content. The only instance you would ever use a primary weapon in something like that is if it deals with a specific champion.
Yeah. No,
because otherwise,
like auto rifle, anti-barrier, ooh, it's so hard to say no to that. Yeah. Also, unstoppable hand cannon. Yet again, they brought it back. Yet again, it's a
Yep.
fucking banger. Why did they ever stop doing it?
Like,
Just keep Unstoppable
outs.
Hand Cannon, please. It's too good.
It's one of the things that's been bugging me the way the sandbox is right now, because outside of at-level content, primary weapons just take so long to kill even red bar enemies. And it hurts. It's painful to not use double special.
Yeah, and it sucks because I, as someone who specifically, like, for the most part, only uses auto rifles and hand cannons, and then my heavies are almost, like, out of the 10 slots for heavies that I have, 5 of them are machine guns.
Which, thankfully, they buffed machine guns. Like, was it the beginning of this season, I think?
And then they had to still nerf Thunderlords, but it
It's
was a
still good.
reasonable nerf.
Yeah, like, rockets are still probably hands down the DPS kings right now, because one galley is all you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And other than that, like, linears definitely fell off real hard, aside from sleeper.
Yeah, I will say though, it was nice to see all of them have their time in the spotlight though.
Oh yeah, I wish they would not have nerfed them as hard as they did to actually make them competitive with the other options, but they really dropped. Aside from like Cataclysmic.
Yeah, also, can we talk about like the one heavy bow we have, which is Leviathan's Breath?
Which is actually like the buff that they gave it.
It was substantial.
It is a DPS option now.
Which
it is a legitimate DPS option.
Which I'm very thankful for, because damn does it feel good. I still need to work on that fucking catalyst. God damn it.
It's worth it. I am sad though that the Oathkeeper's buff does not work with it.
Oh, to keep it infinitely charged?
Now, like, Oathkeepers, when they reworked them recently...
Oh, that's right. How the longer you draw it out.
Within a certain amount of time, it does bonus damage.
Yeah, well, that's also because it's the longest draw bow in the game.
Yeah, but...
Even longer than Wishender, which already has a really long draw time anyways.
Well, longer than Wishender until you activate its Catalyst. And it gets Archer's Tempo.
Right. Forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, Archer's Tempo with that thing is gross.
Yeah. Duh. Fucking one-shot red.
So good.
Fucking one-shotting red bars out here, homie. Goddamn.
One-shotting champions.
It feels good. It feels... Wishender, when they gave that bitch intrinsic anti-barrier... Oh, baby. Oh, one-shotting shielded Cabal never felt so fucking good.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to find out next week what they've tweaked.
I am as well, and that's going to be very long. But before this gets to 2 hours, Danny, with everything that has been said, where can they find you?
Can find me on Twitch and YouTube under the same name.
You can also find me on Twitter at DominiteFox1 or on Twitch/YouTube at DominiteFox. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching the video. We both really appreciate it. I know this one when after like the past like month and a half of having like 20-minute twabs, no issue. Then we hit you with a fucking hour and 40.
Yeah, I just want to say. I just want to say I called it. Like, literally,
you
like,
did.
2 weeks before the showcase, they're gonna hit us with something huge.
And they're gonna hit us. And you know what the sad part is? We still have more shit. We still have the gun fucking update to, next week.
Yep.
God.
And exotic armor plus guns.
Oh god, that's gonna be so fucking long. I really hope the TWAB is just here's the movie and art of the week. Goodbye. That's really what I'm hoping it is.
Oh, it probably will, because like we probably won't actually have much WoB specific content because the showcase is so close.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we should probably end this. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We all hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, don't be a sweatlord. We'll see you guys next time.